lot of realities that we've had to face with being home, with working from home, with having our children at home, with having our husbands or significant others at home. And a lot of women and men have experienced a lot of emotionalism, so to speak, during this time of the pandemic. Can anyone speak on any emotional highs or lows that they've experienced during this time that maybe you didn't realize, hey, you know what, maybe I need to work on that a little bit more? This brought it to light?
Getting to know my kids all over again.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I thought I knew, but I didn't know because I never was around them long enough to get to know them. Always ripping and running, doing this, going to work, and come in, see them, get them up out to school, and then I'm ripping and running. They come in, fix dinner, do homework, and they off to bed. So it's just like we was hitting and missing each other. And since the pandemic, we're there 24/7 in everybody's face. So it was just like getting to know their wants, their dislikes, what they like to do, what they don't do, what, you know, just really getting to know them all over again. It was really interesting because it was a lot of things about them that I didn't even know was in them, or things that they can do that I didn't know they could do, and things they were interested in I didn't know.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have anything that they want to add?
Yeah, but for me, I found out that I am not a teacher. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? That's what I found out, that, you know, I gained a whole new respect for teachers, you know, in general, because it's tough. It's tough being, you know, mother and teacher. You know, I'm used to saying, go ask your teacher tomorrow. I'm not sure. But now, you know, you have to go those extra steps and those extra miles to try to figure out, you know, what this assignment is about and how to do this and how to do that. And it's just a different way of learning for everyone. It's like with my kids, they're no longer in the actual school system. Like they don't go to the actual school anymore. So they're homeschooled. So that in itself is completely different for them and also completely different from us. So it's like learning from scratch. So that has been a difficult process that we're slowly getting there, but it's just like, it's like a new world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have a few of our men of valor, you know, on. So let's see if they have anything that they would like to add, Joanne or Bishop, in regards to any emotional highs and lows that you've experienced during this time of the pandemic that you would like to talk about.
Yes, I'll say that I've noticed that patients came in a lot more during this pandemic, when you would normally see, again, your family, your wife, and your kids every so often due to work and due to them being in school. Being around them all the time, every day, all day, every day, all day, it gained some patience.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it also brought us together because now we can learn each other. When the times we wasn't with them, now we understand what they were doing when we wasn't with them. So now we can kind of take that time to make something great of ourselves. So it's been some lows, but it's also been great.
Yeah, absolutely. Bishop, anything you want to add?
What I've learned is I love the post that you had on there, and it talked about just because you grow doesn't mean others grow. And so for me, I think one of the lows is thinking you're at a place that you're not.
It's major.
Because you did not have to deal with who you are in reference to others.
Yeah.
It's different when you're, and Sandra said it and Joanne said it, when you're gone 8 hours, 10 hours, and what you really have with your family is visitation.
Very true.
Is visitation. And so I realized that one of my lows was recognizing that I wasn't where I thought I was. Because when you are who you are, the situation and the environment should not change it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that was one of my lows that actually became my high. Because I was able to change me instead of saying where other people needed to change. I changed me. So it appeared to be a low, but as I worked on me, it became a high.
Mm-hmm.
I put a post on there. I was working out, and I'll be quiet after this. I was working out, and I deleted the post because it looked like I had a big pimple right here. So I deleted the post. Yeah, that was funny. I had to take that down. And one of the things I was going to say is I was in beast mode. Thank you, Jawan, for reading my spirit. But I put this on there, and it was, nobody else can work on me but me.
Yeah.
And that is the harshest reality, that while we look at everybody else to really work on us, not expecting them to change,
Mm-hmm.
but expecting me to remain changed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hardest part. That was the hardest part doing all of this.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. So there's a few things that Cree and I discussed prior to starting the conversation today, and I wanted to kind of talk about some hurts that we've experienced that maybe we didn't talk about and maybe we didn't want to discuss, but I think it's important to acknowledge those. And I can start with matters of the heart. When we did the Redeeming Stones conference that we had, one of the things that I acknowledged was, through the stones that we all have incurred over our lives, one of the things that was never acknowledged, well, I never verbally acknowledged, was the hurts that I endured, just being a woman of faith, a leader, pastor, therapist, friend, sister, aunt, whatever. And what happens is we keep getting stones thrown at us, and we don't acknowledge the hurt of those stones, the daggers, the knives, the arrows, and all of that. And, you know, after a while, when you keep getting, you know, things thrown at you, you have to be like, well, whoa, wait, hold on. What's really going on? But you have to also acknowledge the fact that it hurts. And that's where a lot of people kind of get stuck. And one of the things that I've heard kind of across the board with everybody is, you just keep going. We were just like robots prior to the pandemic, and the pandemic actually made us stop and deal with us, just as human beings, as parents, as partners, teachers. And so we all have endured a lot of different hurts, but if we haven't dealt with them, and what I mean by dealing with them, acknowledging the hurt, acknowledging what you did in the situation, and not always pointing the finger at other people. One of the deep conversations that Cree and I had, was it a few weeks ago, was the perception and the skewed perceptions that each of us had in regards to hurts that we both endured, but our perceptions of the hurts were totally opposite, because we saw that from our perspective. And because we were able to come together as women and talk about it, the hurts were lifted, right? Because we had a conversation about it. But me and Creed discussed, well, if we had talked about this 2 years ago, we wouldn't be where we are right now. If we had just had the conversation and acknowledged, hey, you kind of upset my feelings, and maybe I'm off, but I need to let you know that, versus you keep sweeping it under the rug, and you keep keeping record of it, and you keep tripping over it, but you never get rid of it. And so we have to learn to get rid of that dirt and get rid of those things that hinder us. And I'd like for Cree to kind of talk a little bit about that, and then we'll have Sheila join us.
True. The way we talk is way more personable, so put it on a sophisticated level. But I feel like when I talk to you, I'm able to just, you know, kick it with you, be real. But I mean, you know, it's easy when I'm talking with you. It just kind of flows and comes out. But to try to discuss it on this Zoom, it's like, I don't have a problem with you.
that's what needs to be said. You understand what I'm saying? Because so often we hold those things in, and maybe you didn't have a problem. Maybe you just thought you had a problem, and because of that, you added onto it and you added onto it. But the issue was there was never a conversation.
Right.
And so often, and I'll say as a woman, women do it all the time. We don't have conversations.
What do you want to talk about, Lady D? I mean, we discussed so much stuff.
I know. Let's talk about the hurt. You talked about the hurt that you endured.
I've been with you guys for a long time. Where do you want me to start? I know, you know, I have my little pity parties by myself. Back around and I love you again. Then something happens. Then I have a pity party. Then I forgive you guys and I come back around and I love you again.
So okay, well, that's good. Let's talk about those times where you've had a pity party and you said you love us again, and then you had the pity party and then you love us again. But let's take a point in, do we know that we did something to hurt you or to not include you or to, you know, push those feelings out to where you feel you have to disengage? And I think that's important for everyone that's on the line to recognize, because you may have done something to me and I may respond to you differently than you would respond to me. But because your perception is I should, and I'm in the box, then now you get offended and frustrated and then you walk away. Right?
Yeah.
And then it's mixed.
My face look puffy right here.
You know what?
You know
and
what?
So that's why it's important, because, and I say this because everyone here, you know, we're open and honest, but everyone here has felt some type of way and did not acknowledge the fact that they felt some type of way, and they kept adding stones to the issue. And if they had just discussed the first time, it wouldn't be layers that have to be peeled like an onion.
That's true. I mean, a lot of times you and Pastor always open up your door for me to come and discuss my major issues. So I'm trying to think about like stuff that I didn't discuss with you guys, and I'm just like talking to my husband like, you know, this, and no, we didn't discuss that, and I'm mad about this, and you know. So I'm trying to remember those times. I know the last time that we talked, we discussed love.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want me to bring that up.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, with love, the last hurt that I felt with love was I'm kind of an introvert, right? So I know you're a pusher. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do love and I'm gonna be a part of this thing, you know, and try to do good at it. And you had gave me a role, you know, so I was like low key excited about that. And but you know, maybe didn't live up to it at the best of whatever, but I tried to, and I felt like as soon as I was starting to get comfortable at doing it, is when I got fired or whatever, or got discharged or whatever. So that hurt my feelings. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just getting ready to really go in on this, and right when I was feeling it, I got canceled.
Yeah.
So that was a part of one of my hurts that I dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's some other stuff. Like, I don't know everybody here to really go in, but
yeah, that's fine. That's fine with that. But I wanted you to kind of lead the way, because I feel like there's a lot of times that we don't have those conversations. And when I say the emotional highs and lows, we put ourselves in those emotional highs and lows, and then we put everybody in the same categories because somebody else did something to us. And now we're putting up, well, Jamie said this, so now I'm upset, but it's really not Jamie. It's really something that my cousin did. that I never dealt with my cousin, and Jamie just reminded me of my cousin, and so now I don't like Jamie. Low key.
Yep.
But I'm a smile and grin at her, you know, every time I see her, but I really have some type of feeling, and we have to learn to let go of those feelings and digest it and have those, it's not even a hurtful conversation. Just have the conversations so that you don't keep moving forward, but taking 2 steps back.